Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Rachah, Kodash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and wherever you may be, Shalom, Yahshua, Shalom. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, lest Satan should get in advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right. So, like as I readjust myself, it's kind of raining outside. I'm actually under a tree, trying not to get wet. So we're gonna go to there's a couple videos here, all right, showing up in my feed, so I grabbed them. All right, we'll just play them one after another. I don't really have any scriptures for you, but this is an AI chat, so we just usually talk about these topics here. So let's play the first one.
You have probably heard of Dolly the sheep. She was the first mammal to be cloned, and it happened a long time ago in 1996. Since then, the menagerie of cloned animals has only grown, and the science has come a long way. So much so that people are cloning their dead pets, especially in China. This country has more pets than young children, and now people are trying to bring their dead furry companions.
It says China has more pets than their children. All right. Not meaning that the children have more pets than the parents. I mean there's more pets than there actually are children in China. And also, you just get with Esau's technology or whatever. Who knows if he really truly has the he definitely can't clone a person. We know that for sure because he can't create nor destroy a soul or a spirit. All right, because the scriptures tell us that. All right, fear not him that can kill the body and not the soul. Okay, so Esau can't destroy nor create a spirit, so he can't truly clone a person, even if he's able to make a fake body. How they do. They show things in the movies. Even if he has the means to actually do that, he can't really truly clone a person without actually the soul, all right? Because the soul, that spirit, is what animates the body, okay? So even so, then with that being said, it really isn't actually a clone because then it would just be, some kind of AI generated, it's going to have to work some kind of way through their artificial intelligence and not actually through the soul or the spirit, which they cannot give nor take away, all right? But let's keep going.
It's back to life. This may sound like science fiction, but pet cloning is a $4 billion market around the world now.
And she said something about bringing pets back to life. That's Pet Cemetery right there. I know some of y'all remember that movie, the old one. All right, I believe there was a new one remade, but the old one, the Pet Cemetery. You know what it's about. I don't have to even talk about it.
And what's behind it? How are people cloning their pets, and does it even work? Here's a report.
This is Joker, a Doberman, a loyal and brave companion to a woman in China. But the dog died in 2022 from a heart attack, causing the owner so much more pain than she could have imagined. So the woman turned to science, and she cloned her dog. For $22,000, she replicated her dog. This scenario sounds straight out of science fiction. After all, woman or dog death is inevitable. But in today's day and age, it doesn't have to be forever. And this is not an isolated case. A growing number of pet owners in China are cloning their pets. And here's how it works. People take a skin sample from their pet, insert its DNA into a donor egg, then implant this embryo into a surrogate mother, and soon, the cloned pet, an identical twin of the original pet, is born. This may sound absurd, but for the owners it is a way to overcome grief, to continue their bond with furry companions on their own terms. And for the service providers, it is a way to earn the big bucks, because cloning a pet doesn't come cheap. Cloning a cat costs up to $40,000, and cloning a dog, $50,000. But despite the high costs, people are willing.
It says cloning, I think it says a cat, $40,000, cloning the dog, $50,000. And it sounds absurd, but hey, you gotta understand, there's people out there in the world that will do it, right? They will pay for it, all right?
To pay the price to bring their pets kind of back to life. And this is fueled by advancing biotechnology and a booming pet market. You see, China's fertility rate is falling. Now, China has more pets than young children. And its pet supplies market is growing by 7.5% annually. No wonder then that people are going to all kinds of lengths to clone their dead animals. And this isn't just happening in China. The global pet industry stands at $320 billion. It is expected to swell to almost $500 billion by 2030. People are buying more pets. Pet healthcare is improving. There are more variants of pet food than ever before. There is even luxury clothing for pets. And people are willing to splurge. After all, according to a new study, having a cat or a dog can boost your well-being, as much as being married or meeting friends regularly. So when a pet died...
So that there you go. That's that PR right there, right? The public relations, right? They're trying to say, see, here's a good reason why, you know, this is good for you, right? Why, hey, maybe you should do it, all right? Just try to, you know, slip in the door and get you there.
The pain pet owners can feel is very real, which is why the global pet cloning market is worth more than $4 billion and it is expected to grow. But experts are concerned. A large number of clones are born unfit, so the process is unfair to the newly born animals and to the surrogate mothers as well, who undergo unnecessary suffering for this unnatural process. There are also logistical mishaps. For instance, cloning companies sometimes produce an entire litter of cloned puppies instead of a single one. Plus, cloning may preserve the unique traits of a pet that make them irreplaceable, like their physical appearance or their temperament. But critics question whether cloned pets truly have the same personality as their predecessors. After all, pets are uniquely shaped by their experience, and cloning cannot replicate that. Because just as identical twins have very different personalities, cloned pets can be different too. But despite the pitfalls, a lot of pet owners remain undeterred. So people may go through the 5 stages of grief after their pet dies. But for some, there is always a 6th stage: cloning.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
Okay, so that was the end of that. So yeah, now I know this is not exactly in the realm of AI, but what you have to understand, they actually do have, you know, robotic animals. All right, I think there's one dog. I forget the name of it. I'm not sure if it's China or whoever it is, but there's this one dog where it looks real lifelike and animated. All right, it looks realistic. It responds to your commands and everything, you know, that nature. Because everything, according to Esau, that is, all right. But we know he's not going to fulfill this dream. But you know, everything is moving towards a digital age. Digital everything. Everything's, you know, backed by AI technology. Okay, and so that's the world that we're moving into. All right. So that was the end of that one. But give me a second. I'm gonna wipe my phone off. It's kind of wet here. Just bear with me. All right. So this next one, you have to sit with me for a second, because it's about 6 minutes long. 6 minutes long. All right. And it's something that we went into and talked about before when it first popped up on the radar. All right. And we always mention that movie, the Tom Cruise movie, Minority Report. Okay. Where they had these things called the precogs. Okay. And so they would pretty much foresee future happening, you know, crimes, that is, particular future crimes. And they will come and lock a person up before they even committed the crime. Okay. And so Esau's, you know, a lot of things in movies can just be random stuff, but majority of times there's a lot of things that are split in Esau's movie because he's actually working towards those particular goals and working towards that particular technology. All right. And that is one of them. So let's play the video. Oh, actually, bear with me. My screen is too. Okay, here we go. We should be good. We should be good.
Have you watched Minority Report? This movie came out in 2002, so I don't blame you if you don't remember it, but here's the gist of it. A detective works for a police department called Pre-Crime. He uses psychics to help convict murderers before they commit the crimes. He has absolute faith in the system. That is, until the psychics predict that he himself will kill a man. And this throws his life into turmoil, and it leaves us asking a lot of questions, because this movie is a futuristic sci-fi thriller. It is set in the year 20...
And in the movie, if you think about it, he was really a hypocrite, all right? Because, you know, he worked for them to lock people up before they even commit the crime because of the precogs. But then, when he gets seen doing a crime, all of a sudden, oh, something's wrong here. All right. He went through the whole movie trying to prove his innocence. Okay. Because, oh, no, I can't do something like that. I'm a cop too or whatever. No, that was him being hypocritical. All right. But, that's neither here nor there.
T-54. But similar events are already taking place. We're in 2025. You're seeing such events, except there is one difference. Instead of using psychics, the police are relying on artificial intelligence. I'm talking about the UK, where government is creating a murder prediction program. It will use police and government data, then decide how likely someone is to kill. The UK's Ministry of Justice hopes that it will boost public safety. But will it? We say you be the judge. As per a UK-based charity, the project will collect as many as 500,000 records. This will include personal data of people, specifically of convicted offenders.
And it says it's to boost safety is what they say, because that's a good reason for them to say, hey, yeah, we need this program, right?
Also victims and witnesses of crime. The AI tool will collect their name, gender, date of birth, and information on their ethnicity and health. Like if a person struggles with addiction or suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, so that's basically all your personal information that they need. No different from, what the usual system has now, all right? But they're going to pair it up with their AI technology, okay, and, what it's capable of, and then say, hey, this boosts the safety of the economy, people, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
See, Esau, you got to watch Esau. He's very slick with his words, and he knows how to market things to people, okay?
The program will know all of this. Then it will analyze this information and identify those at risk of committing serious violent crimes like murder. What could possibly go wrong? Rhetorical question. But experts have some thoughts nonetheless. They call the tool chilling and dystopian. And there are three main reasons why. First, the system will process highly sensitive information of innocent people and those who have gone to the police for help. And like most things tech, the AI program could be prone to glitches and privacy risks. Plus, it could threaten citizens' rights. We've already seen this with China. Their police uses AI to predict crime and protests. The system targets people whose behavior is suspicious. For China's AI, do you know what qualifies as suspicious behavior? Apparently, a person with a mental illness going near a school. That is suspicious. Now, according to reports, this tool is also used to target migrant workers in the country, which brings us to the second big risk. Experts claim that the UK's AI algorithm will build bias, and this will affect the crime predictions. You have probably heard the adage, artificial intelligence systems are only as good as the data they are fed. And time and again, research has shown that
She says the artificial intelligence is only as well as the data is fed. And that's something that we often mention when we talk about Esau's, the main technology that he's aiming for, all right? Or another thing like something like, I don't know, like Chat GPT or the AI overview, okay, where the computer has to be programmed by someone. All right. Anything, any device or whatever, certain technology has to be programmed by someone. Now we know that they talk about, which is also from the movies, but hey, it's realistic. But AI technology growing, all right, getting smarter, and it does that, all right. Like with Chat GPT, something like that. Okay, it takes the interactions and the conversations and the words and sentences that people use, and it learns, all right, from those sentences, those words, and those interactions there, from the questions and the answers, and it grows smarter and smarter. But yet, this is what Esau chooses to create, man. All right, which it's not him creating is not the important thing. All right, it's what he really wants to create from it. That's the important thing, and we know that leads to prophecy. All right, which is ultimately the digital system, the micro C-hips, and the brain C-hips, okay? But everything else falls in line because everything is driving towards that same thing, artificial intelligence. I mean, this is why they call it a digital age, okay?
Is institutionally racist. So their data will only reinforce this. Campaigners fear that it will code in the past, and research has shown that the UK police is institutionally racist.
So she said the UK police is institutionally racist. Well, that's worldwide when you're dealing with so-called niggers, Latinos, and Native Americans. So Why would his system not be the same way? Okay, designed to target certain people. Yeah, you said they have, the criminal history tendencies, where they're not you're suicidal or, all these different crazy things like that. But it still can be programmed, all right, to target a specific, I don't want to say ethnicity of people, but, you get, a specific people, which are the Israelites, okay?
Their data will only reinforce this. Campaigners fear that it could code in the bias and profile people with minorities rather, and low-income communities as criminals. The third big
Hold on, let me
risk,
run that back.
as with all things AI, from minorities rather, so their data will only reinforce this. Campaigners fear that it could code in the bias and profile people with from minorities rather. And
See, profile people, a minority. Well, they deem us as a minority. Okay, that's what they say about us. Really, it's Esau who's dwindling in numbers. But you get the point, though. All right, who's the ones that they refer to when they say minorities? All right, it's always beginning with so-called Negroes, right? Judah, and then you also have the the other tribes there. All right, so yeah, who you think that's targeting? Low-income housing, areas. Who you think that's talking about? See?
income communities as criminals. The third big risk, as with all things AI, is accuracy. We have seen this play out repeatedly again.
And yeah, speaking on accuracy, that's why they want, your digital footprint, all right? They want everything to be online where there's no denying this is the person, this is what they look like, this is their backstory, this is their history, this is their medical records, this is their, criminal record, this is their tendencies, everything, all right? They want to know everything about you because they want to play God's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. All right, they want to sit in the seat of the Most High, man. This is what they're aiming at.
See this with the
This is all a part of their enterprise.
AI facial recognition system used by the US police. It fails to accurately identify black faces. The same problem applies to the UK police.
Fails to, now, of course, she's talking about UK, but we're speaking worldwide. We're speaking general. We're speaking all the tribes, all right, in all the earth, okay, where this may affect them, all right. Is having a problem identifying black faces. I wonder why that is, man. I wonder why that is. Because what they say, they all look alike. Now, y'all all look alike, all right? Especially those Moabites, man. Them Moabites, man, they all look alike.
Is the same force that now wants to take 10 steps forward and predict murders with AI.
See?
It rings alarm bells. Now, all of this is not to say that...
Yeah, I mean, who wants to get pre-arrested, if you want to call it like that? Who wants to get pre-arrested? I ain't even committed a crime. I ain't even thought about... I thought about going to the football game next week, but you talking about... you gotta... or however it's going to work, all right? If they even be able to create this. But yeah, you said... You coming to me saying that, yeah, I had a thought in my mind that I was going to create a murder, 1 month, 3 days, and 16 hours from now. Like, what are you talking about, man? What the hell is this system? All right? It's demonic, man. Okay?
The use of technology is all bad. AI is already being used by police all over the world, and it has massive potential. It can transform the way police investigates crimes. It can quickly sift through vast amounts of data. It can identify patterns and links. It is a detective with unlimited time, and it never gets tired. AI sounds like every cop's best friend. But is AI ready for its easy-peasy pre-crime era? Unfortunately, the answer is a hard no. Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
And that's the end of that video, yeah. So he says, unfortunately, the answer is a hard no. Yeah, because look, as any technology Esau creates, it's flawed. And then as any technology that Esau creates, he always has in his mind that he wants to do away with the Israelites, beginning with Judah, the so-called Negroes, because they are the head tribe, man. All right. So if something like this was to be created, yeah, all the nations would probably fall under it, who would be used, but what like all things, like the whole system or whatever, right? Who is it designed for? Always. It's always designed for Jake, man. Okay. It's always designed to find a way to usurp Jake, to push Jake down, to oppress Jake, and so on and so forth. All right. And this, like I said, this thing is it's demonic within itself. Just dealing with you talking about AI technology. All right. We see what Esau does with that. He's a demon. All right. This AI technology is used to be, digitally demonic. And to actually have a technology, if they were able to produce this, to actually have a technology that will have you foresee a crime before it happened. Hey, they just run through all the neighborhoods. All right, they flood the neighborhoods because they're not looking at the nice little neighborhood so-called white man's living in with his house or whatever, and he might got pounds of coke in his basement. All right, crack all over, heroin, weed, and all these different things. All right, but nah, they focus on Jake. All right, in the neighborhoods where they put you at, right in the hood. All right, they focus on Jake, so they just flood the hood. Like, yeah, we're gonna get this house, get that house. Yeah, that guy right there standing on the corner right now smoking a cigarette. He think he cool, right? But we got him. The system says he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. He's gonna sell a drug. This. Hey, it's very demonic. It's very evil. All right, it's wicked. But that's only if they can create it. Would they or would they not put it into use? Of course, we know the answer to that. They will, of course, put it into use. But at the end of the day, it's all of what the will of the Lord is. Hey, if he wants them to create something like that and use that, he'll do it. If not, it won't happen. But that's all I have for you. We're going to end it there. So we are getting rained out here. Lord willing, you will edify to next time. Y'all going to say shalom.